When my mic is out, can you... We're just watching the final preparations for trooping the colour. Again, so many people assembled there. It really is a cast of thousands today. More cars arriving. Who have we not seen arrive yet?
But at the centre of this is a family, and a family who, like us, want to celebrate what is an incredible achievement for the matriarch of that family, and so it's only right that they are with her. In the past, Prince Edward, her son, said to me that they are always the supporting cast, and that's exactly what they'll be again today, as we now know that we are going to see the star of proceedings on 3 separate occasions.
Behind the scenes, Rhiannon, what happens in terms of it's very much a family affair, and we will see them at certain points over the weekend, as you've outlined. But once they leave that balcony today, is there a family party behind the scenes?
They normally have a bit of a lunch at Buckingham Palace, and then of course we know that the Queen tonight is going to be involved in the beacon lighting ceremony, so around 9:30. So she will eventually head back to Windsor. But yeah, I think they do see it as a family get-together. Yes, for some of it, we're all watching. For example, when they're all out there on the Major General's balcony, body language experts are going to have an absolute field day, because they always do. So I think for the family, of course, it's important to have that time where they can get together behind the scenes and catch up. Because don't forget, they are all incredibly busy. For example, William and Kate recently jetting off to the Caribbean.
And they will march out to their 6 guards. There are 3 officers for each guard. And on parade today of the 6 guards, to the left of our picture, is the escort for the colour, formed by the Irish Guards, of course. Then 2 and 3 guards, also formed by the 1st Battalion Irish Guards. Number 4 guard is formed by Nijmegen Company of the Grenadier Guards. Number 5 by F Company, Scots Guards. And number 6 is formed by number 7 Company, the Coldstream Guards.
Coldstream Guards.
You can hear helicopters overhead. There was a small incident as the soldiers marched towards Horse Guards earlier today. And the sensitivities in modern day of security is always in people's minds. Just at the bottom of the picture there, the ensign, who will be carrying the colour later on. It's a big day for him. 2nd Lieutenant Charles Bashall, who will be trooping his battalion's colour before the Sovereign's representative, the Prince of Wales. The field officer and brigade waiting today is Lieutenant Colonel James Aldridge, who's currently the commanding officer of the Irish Guards. You can tell the Irish Guards, their buttons are in 4s, and they have a St Patrick's blue plume in the right-hand side of their bearskin caps. They're now going to fix bayonets. That's the instruction to grab hold of the bayonet at the rear of the belt. Now to place the bayonet on the top of the SA-80 rifle. And a reminder that all these soldiers on parade today are trained as soldiers to deliver calculated, precise and legal violence in protection of the nation and its values anywhere in the world. Shortly, an instruction will be given to open up number 3 guard in order that the royal procession coming from Buckingham Palace with the carriages can make its way through to Horse Guards so they can watch the parade.
It's the helicopters that
It's a reminder that most of these manoeuvres come from the days of the Napoleonic Wars. In fact, the first birthday parade took place at the King's birthday. It was King George III in 1805, shortly before the Battle of Trafalgar on the 21st of October later that year. And they cleared that opening so that when the carriages come and pass the great Guards Memorial, which you see there with the 5 bronze soldiers of the 5 Guards regiments in front of Portland Marble, still pockmarked with the detritus of the bombs that landed on London during the Blitz. For all those gathered here, there's a sense of anticipation and a reminder that this is the highest tribute that the armed forces, through the Queen's Household Division, can pay to the Queen to mark her official birthday. Her actual birthday was on the 21st of April. And this event is to try and make sure that the event takes place in better weather. Looking across the Guards Memorial, we see Horse Guards building. It was designed by Adam, completed not long after his death to go in line with the designs around the rest of Horse Guards. And it was here that in Queen Elizabeth I's day, there used to be tournaments where knights would test their military capabilities. And I can hear the clamour for the carriages as they come down the Mall and along Horse Guards approach road and onto Horse Guards. We'll see them shortly in the trees coming down from the top there, as we hear the bands leaving Buckingham Palace with the royal colonels who will be representing the Queen later at this parade. Sergeant, a great honour to be holding the colour of the 1st Battalion. And later on, the escort for the colour will come to collect that colour and then troop it through all 6 guards. The ceremony used to be called the lodging of the colours, which in a way makes it easier to understand, because it was important for soldiers here to identify it and know where it was stored. And there a good view of Horse Guards building, with the balconies dressed for where the royal family will watch this event. And we're hearing the reactions down the Mall as the carriages make their way to Horse Guards now. Field Officer and Brigade Waiting has moved to a position beside the opening in number 3 guard in order to give a royal salute to members of the royal family when they arrive. It's perhaps worth thinking what it must feel like to be a young guardsman on parade today. They've been training along with the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery. Mr. Nicholas, Mr. Wallstrom on horses Sergeant Major and Bermuda. And they're leading the first carriage, the #1 barouche, in which the Duchess of Cornwall and the Duchess of Cambridge are travelling. Yesterday, the Duchess of Cornwall was invested with the insignia of Lady of the Most Noble Order of the Garter by Her Majesty the Queen. She was appointed to the Order of the Garter recently, and later this year, the Queen will become the person who has held the Garter longer than anybody else in history. She was made Lady of the Garter by her father, the King. Three children, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, travelling with their mother and with the Duchess of Cornwall. And in the second carriage, the Earl and Countess of Wessex with their two children, Lady Louise, Mountbatten Windsor, and Viscount Sutton. And in the Balmoral landau, the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, and Vice Admiral Sir Tim Lawrence, whose wife, Princess Royal, as Colonel Bruce Royals, is gold stick in waiting today and responsible for the protection of the monarch going back to the 1600s of the Napoleonic Wars and the drill movements that were so vital in creating the squares that defeated Napoleon at that battle. Down the Mall now will be coming the Prince of Wales, who represents Her Majesty the Queen, with his son, the Duke of Cambridge, who's Colonel of the Irish Guards, and the Princess Royal, I was mentioning just now. Prime Minister watching with his wife from the stands as we see the procession beginning. Hear the wonderful sound of the mounted band of the Household Cavalry and the two drum horses named Harry and Ed. The mounted band of the Household Cavalry will now take their place underneath the cover and canopy of the trees. A reminder that for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, canopy of trees has been the Queen's wish across the Commonwealth. And today I think some of the horses of the Household Cavalry will be glad of the cover they receive from those trees. And behind the band comes the 1st and 2nd Division of the Sovereign's Escort, formed by the Lifeguards, and we can just see beyond them the Royal Colonels. And if Her Majesty the Queen is watching, she will be sharp-eyed on all those horses. She can read every one of those animals with an expert's eye. There are 118 horses forming part of the Sovereign's Escort, both 1st, 2nd, and also the 3rd and 4th Divisions. And the standard of the